All right, welcome back guys to the channel. This summer, probably like most of you guys, I have been doing like a million things. I've been trying to do internships, scholarships, preparing for the first semester back, just general just living life type of things, trying to get through COVID. One of the things that I got to do this summer and I really enjoyed was the Boston EMSSP, or Early Medical School Selection Program. And I really enjoyed that. So today, and probably over the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna do like a mini video series over my time in Boston and what the program really entailed and what you can do if you want to apply for it. So let's get into it. So because the Boston EMSSP program is such a comprehensive type of thing, I'm gonna break it down into little segments. So today is just gonna be about the application. It's gonna be about who can apply, how you can apply, and what things to look out for if you are doing the application. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna go over is who can actually apply for the program. It's not actually open to all schools. They basically have a partnership with a couple of minority schools like Hampton, like I believe Tougaloo's on there, school in El Paso, there's a school in Hawaii, and a couple other things that I'll probably list. And those are the schools that are able to participate in the program. Now, if you are from one of those schools, what kind of people are you looking for from those schools? So this program is open to sophomores and juniors. Generally, it starts in the sophomore year, but you can also get in if you're already in your junior year. In terms of GPA, people that were in my cohort had a GPA over 3.7. So you really have to be on the higher ends of the GPA scale. And they all had a lot of research, experiences, and were very well-rounded overall. So if you don't have a lot of experiences that make you a well-rounded applicant, then I would definitely recommend getting those before you apply to the program. So I'll talk about this a little bit later as well, but they also were looking for real people. They didn't want robots. You could tell it was very clear in the interview process that they wanted people that would be relatable and that would make good relationships with the other people in the program. So definitely people that have like good social skills, people that are more than just in a 4.0 student, right? You got to be a real person. Okay, so after listening to those criteria, if you are from one of those schools that I mentioned and you think that you're one of those students that has a high GPA, is well-rounded overall, has a lot of experience, and is relatable to other people, then you should apply. Now the question is, how do you apply? So it's actually not open to like just the majority of people. It's a very selective process. So the first thing is you're gonna wanna get in touch with your pre-med coordinator. Generally speaking, I know at Hampton, they only gave the application link to the pre-med coordinator, and his name is Mr. Dewitt at Boston. He chose who he wanted to allow to apply. And he even said, like when he sent the link out, don't give this to anybody else. They need to come talk to me if they wanna apply. So you need to get in touch and have a good relationship with your pre-med coordinator. In terms of the application itself, it opens around the end of, I believe it was November. It was like the end of the fall semester, so that's when you're gonna look for it to open up. And it closed, the application was due around the end of January. So it's open for about 3 months, and it had an application fee of $25, which my class got lucky and we got that refunded. In terms of actually filling out the application, it wasn't anything super different from most of the other programs you're gonna apply to. They had things like your grades. You had to list every class that you took and the actual grade that you got in there. You had to list things like personal experiences, your personal statement, and letters of recommendation. The hardest part for me were the letters of recommendation. Most other programs only require usually 1 to 2 letters of recommendation, and they can be from anybody really, as long as it's, you're not related to them. The EMSSP program required at least 3 letters of recommendation, and all 3 of those had to be from faculty on campus. So I know for me, like being in COVID, I didn't really create a deep connection with a lot of my teachers. So that was one of the more difficult pieces. But if you are planning on applying to the program and you're a freshman, now is your time to make connections. 3 of 5, like I said, ended up getting 3 faculty and 2 doctors that I shadowed. So definitely just go ahead and make those connections and then start the application early, because it is a lot. It's not super complicated, but it is a lot, and you have to list all of your experiences. You have to get the letters in on time and all the other portions. So just make sure you start that early. So after you submit the application around the end of January, it took us about a month to hear back. So I think I submitted it around January 20th, about a week or 2 early, and I didn't hear back from Boston until February 24th. with my tentative acceptance. So the way it works is they'll send you an email saying that they want to interview you, and then the next step will be the actual interview. So for my class, we had to go through a round of 3 interviews. And so that's gonna be 2 people that are connected to the program and the program director herself. And then again, this is where I noticed that it was a lot more of the relationship type of interview. They weren't asking you about necessarily to try to figure out how smart you were or any of that things. They could tell basically from your application that you were already a smart person. They wanted to see if you were going to be relatable and if you were going to mesh well with the other students in the program. So this is where a lot of people refer to it as the beer test, which just means is this somebody you want to go get a beer with. And so I really noticed that was a key component. They just, at least my interviews were very conversational. They wanted to know like, oh, how did I grow up? You know, one of my interviewers talked to me about basketball. He went to Hampton, and so we just like related really well. So definitely don't go in like overstressed, be very relaxed, and just be ready to talk and relate to whoever it is that is interviewing you. And then after the interview, it took about 2 or 3 weeks, if I'm remembering correctly, before we heard back whether we got accepted. So after those 3 weeks, they sent us an email saying that we would be accepted. And then a little bit later, they told us some more information about what it would be like moving on to campus for the summer. All right, so that's all I had for the application. That should give you a pretty good summary, good overview of what's going to be entailed in applying for this program if you're starting your sophomore or your junior year. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. In the next video, I'm probably going to cover more about what you actually do the junior and senior year and the benefits, maybe some of the cons to applying to this program. I'll see you guys next time.